Welcome to the Daily Recap. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a story that just dropped that has literally everyone talking. Kelly Dodd, the woman who spent years on Real Housewives of Orange County, is facing potential jail time over revenge porn charges. Seriously, we're talking accusations of sharing intimate videos without consent. So here's the question everyone's asking. How did a reality TV star end up in this legal nightmare? Stick around, because we're breaking down everything you need to know. Okay, so here's what actually went down. Kelly Dodd, who was a cast member on The Real Housewives of Orange County for multiple seasons, has been accused of distributing sexually explicit material without the consent of the person in the video. We're talking footage showing a woman having sex and masturbating. According to the reports that came out recently, Kelly allegedly shared this video or these videos with other people without permission from the woman involved. That's textbook revenge porn territory. The charges are serious. We're not talking about some minor legal issue here. This falls under the category of distributing intimate images without consent, which is a crime in multiple states across America. California, where the RHOC is based, has actual laws on the books about this specific crime. The penalties can include jail time, which is why this situation is such a big deal for Kelly. The timeline here matters too. These allegations didn't just pop up overnight. There's been an investigation happening behind the scenes. Law enforcement got involved, and that's when things really escalated. The fact that it reached the point where authorities are pressing charges means there's apparently solid evidence, or at least enough evidence for prosecutors to believe they have a case. What makes this even messier is that Kelly Dodd has been somewhat quiet about it publicly, at least initially. But the story broke, and suddenly everyone in the reality TV world and beyond is talking about it. Her legal team is presumably gearing up, attorneys are involved, and we're in that phase where the accused is weighing their options. Is she going to fight this? Negotiate? How does she even come back from something like this? These are the questions swirling right now. This matters way more than just celebrity gossip, even though it's definitely being covered as celebrity gossip. Here's the real deal. Revenge porn is a massive problem in our society. It happens to thousands of people every single year, and most of those people are women. Most of those women are not celebrities. They're regular people trying to live their lives after a relationship ends or after an intimate moment gets weaponized. When someone shares intimate content without consent, they're violating that person on a fundamental level. It's humiliation. It's trauma. It can destroy someone's career, their relationships, their mental health. We've seen cases where people have taken their own lives because of this exact thing. It's not some victimless prank or a funny joke. It's a serious crime that leaves real damage. Now, here's why the Kelly Dodd case matters specifically for everyday people. If a celebrity faces real consequences, if she actually goes to jail or gets convicted, it sends a message. It says this behavior has consequences. It says prosecutors are taking these crimes seriously. Right now, revenge porn is still wildly underreported, and a lot of perpetrators never face any consequences at all. When someone famous gets charged, it puts a spotlight on the whole issue. But there's another angle too. This conversation gets people thinking about consent and digital privacy. How many people share intimate content without really thinking about the long-term consequences? How many people send nudes thinking they're in a private situation only to have that thrown back in their face later? The Kelly Dodd case is a real-world example that shows this can happen, and it can lead to criminal charges. For victims of revenge porn, seeing someone actually face charges can be validating. It can be empowering. It can encourage other victims to come forward and report their own cases. That ripple effect is actually really important for society. It normalizes holding people accountable, even famous people. So how did we get to this point with Kelly Dodd? She was on The Real Housewives of Orange County for 7 seasons, starting in 2014. She was one of the more controversial cast members. She had feuds with basically everyone at some point. She was known for being outspoken, confrontational, and honestly, for saying things that got her in hot water constantly. Remember when she downplayed the Black Lives Matter movement? That was Kelly. She had a track record of doing and saying provocative things. During her time on RHOC, Kelly built a public persona that was kind of brash and unfiltered. Some people loved it. Some people absolutely hated it. Either way, she was on the show. She was making money from it, and she had relevance in pop culture. Then she left the show in 2020, and her public profile dropped significantly. She wasn't constantly in the tabloids anymore. She wasn't trending on Twitter. She kind of faded from the mainstream conversation. This is important context because it shows the gap between her time in the spotlight and now. When you're on a reality TV show, everything is documented, everything is recorded, and everything is scrutinized. You'd think someone would understand the digital footprint they're creating and the permanence of content. But apparently, that lesson didn't stick. The rise of revenge porn as a prosecutable crime is relatively recent too. States started putting these laws on the books maybe a decade or so ago. California criminalized non-consensual pornography in 2013 under what's often called the cyber exploitation law. Before that, prosecutors had to use other charges like harassment or extortion. Having a specific law makes it clearer and easier to prosecute. So the legal landscape that's now coming after Kelly Dodd is one that wouldn't have necessarily existed the same way 10 or 15 years ago. What happens from here? Kelly's facing some real decisions. Her legal team is probably looking at everything: the evidence, the prosecution's case, the possibility of negotiating, and what going to trial would actually look like. These cases can take time. We're probably not looking at a quick resolution. This could take months or even longer to play out. The most likely scenarios are pretty straightforward. Either she pleads guilty and accepts whatever penalty that comes with, or she pleads not guilty and the case goes to trial. If it goes to trial, the prosecution has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she shared the content without consent. That seems like it should be straightforward, given digital evidence and messaging records, but nothing's certain in court. If she's convicted, she's looking at potential jail time. How much? That depends on California law and the specific charge. We could be talking months, we could be talking years, plus fines, plus a criminal record. The reputational damage is already happening, regardless of how the legal case plays out. She's now permanently associated with this accusation. What's interesting is how this plays into broader conversations about accountability for public figures. There's probably going to be calls for her to apologize, to take responsibility, to show remorse. Whether any of that happens remains to be seen. So here's the bottom line. Kelly Dodd is facing revenge porn charges that could land her in jail. It's a serious legal situation that reflects a broader problem in our society about digital consent and accountability. Stay tuned, because this story is definitely not finished. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the updates. Thanks for watching the Daily Recap.